I recently completed 75 hard, and it has been one of the best decisions I've ever made to actually do, but the experience of all of it is what made it amazing. And in this video, I'm gonna be telling you guys the top things that I learned within 75 hard, what it is, if you should do it or not, really the benefits that I've seen after completing it. So with that being said, let's just jump straight into it. 75 hard is a really intense challenge that I ended up finding on TikTok one day. And as I was scrolling, I'm like, man, what is 75 hard? Like, it just randomly popped up. And then I seen the hashtag, it was like 75 hard challenge. So I'm on TikTok and I'm with my girlfriend, she's laying next to me. And I'm like, you know what, let me just look at this. So I started looking at all these videos and it was people like completely changing their physiques. Now I wouldn't say I was in terrible shape or anything like that, but I can say that I wanted to be in better shape. I used to have a six-pack, I used to be stronger, and I just kind of felt like I was letting life happen to me, right? I felt like I was getting a little bit chubbier in the stomach, right? And I didn't like how I was looking at that specific moment. So I was like, you know what? Babe, we should just try it. So she was like, all right, what is it? So let me basically break it down to you what it is. So 75 hard is an intense 75-day challenge where you have 7 to 8 rules, or if you want to make up your own rules, there's solid 7 to 8 rules that you have to follow every single day. And those rules are, you have to be up before 8 a.m. every single day. So that means no more sleeping in on Saturdays, no more sleeping in on Sundays, no sleeping in at all. Okay, so you gotta be up at 8 a.m. every single day. The second one is you have to work out twice a day. And the crazy part about this is that one of those workouts has to be outside. So what I realized is that a lot of the times after my first workout, which was around like 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning sometimes, I would just immediately go do my walk afterwards, which is my second workout of the day. So I would walk for like 45 minutes outside. And then before that, I would have like an intense workout inside of the gym, which was just a little bit easier for me. I know a lot of other people who have done it. They went from like inside workout and then later in the day did their outside, but for me it was getting a little bit colder and in the colder season, so it was a little bit more difficult for me, but at the end of the day I still completed it, so that's all that matters. Now the third thing that you had to do is you had to drink at least a gallon of water a day. Now I personally removed this off of my challenge specifically just because I didn't like how often I was using the bathroom and I actually needed to get sleep. And one of the things that I realized is that when you drink a lot of water throughout the day, obviously you're gonna have to let out a lot of fluids throughout the day as well. So I just didn't like waking up super often throughout the night, basically like holding me back from waking up earlier in the morning because I was always waking up in the middle of the night having to use the bathroom. So that was my main reason of changing it. If you don't have that problem, I definitely recommend moving forward with it. Now, the fourth thing that you guys had to do is you had to read at least 10 pages every single day. I'm not gonna lie, that one was a little bit more difficult just because I was like sometimes like waiting until super late or, you know, not doing it when I was supposed to do it, and then it would become times like 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, oh my God, it's only an hour left to read these 10 pages, and like having to do it when I'm super tired or I'm drained. I would just say one of the tips I could give you ahead of time before I give you guys all the tips, definitely get the reading out the way after your walk or earlier in the day. Just get everything out the way early in the day, that way you don't really have to worry about it later at night. The next thing that you guys did have to do is you did have to take a progress picture every single day as well, which was pretty easy. Obviously, after your first 2 workouts, you just go in and take a picture of yourself in the mirror. That one was fairly simple, nothing too crazy about that one. The next part of this challenge as well was there's no smoking and no drinking. In the official challenge, there was no drinking. I added no smoking just because I wanted to get rid of all substances. So that's something that I did, and I'm still going strong on no alcohol or weed. Now, again, this was probably a little bit a harder decision for me to make just because I was smoking really often before that. So those first 14 days was just a little bit harder for me. I was already used to like waking up early and reading and things like that, but the stop smoking part was a little bit more difficult. But once I got past like day 14, everything else just got really easy for me. Now, the thing is that when doing this challenge, you are basically going against yourself, right? And I think one of the things, like the first tip that I could give you guys when it comes to completing 75 hard, and you guys will see like a whole bunch of different pictures that I have as well from like day 1 all the way up to day 75. One of the things that I could tell you guys is like, it's really a huge thing on discipline, right? Like the whole premise of this whole challenge is discipline. How disciplined are you, and are you going to fold? Now every day, like I would think to myself, because I felt like the first 30 days really took forever. Like I was literally like, yo, how am I gonna last 75 days? But after I got to about like day like 15, 16, it just felt like clockwork, right? And it became a good habit to have, waking up early in the morning, reading, working out often, and doing all these things, and just really disciplining myself to complete this. Now for me personally, when it came to like actually getting to the finish line, I felt like a gladiator because I'm doing something that most people fail at. And for me, when you look at life, I heard a quote by Myron Golden. He said, live like you're about to die or you'll die like you never lived. That really sunk in for me personally, because at the end of the day, I want to go do the things that will make me a part of the top 1%, or that I could talk about to my kids or to people in my family or even friends who are trying to change their predicament. And if I can show them by me taking action on it first and actually executing on it and completing it, then it'll be a little bit easier for them to have a little bit more confidence for them to do it as well. And at the end of the day, sometimes we just need to see somebody else do it. That will help us make a better decision for ourselves as well. Now, I can say the second biggest tip that I can really give is when you're working out throughout the day, try not to overdo it on your first workout, because you got to remember you still have that second one. I recommend getting it out the way after your first workout, just because it's a little less cold throughout the day, depending on what time you work out. And if you wait until super late, sometimes you may not feel as safe or as comfortable doing your walk. So I wanted to limit all of the possibilities of me not doing it, which meant I just had to do it back to back to back and just get it out of the way. Another thing that you guys definitely want to know is you will have to eat a lot throughout this challenge. The reason being is because it's super important for you guys to stay not only hydrated, but stay actually active in burning a lot of carbs, inserting a lot more food in your system. Because again, with you burning so much energy, you do have to make sure you keep up with having energy in your body, or it's just gonna get even harder for you as the days keep moving forward. Now, another thing that I would say when it comes to taking the pictures for 75 Hard, just add them into their own album on your phone, so that way you can just keep track of the days that you're doing. Or you guys can download the 75 Hard Challenge app. It's pretty convenient, but I think it's like $6. I don't really think you absolutely need it, but if you want it just for the extras, then you can, but it's completely up to you. The biggest things that I noticed when completing 75 Hard is that I have a lot more energy, number one. Number two, I am a lot stronger. I can say I've shaved off a lot of fat and a lot of extra fat that I didn't want on me, and I'm really shredded now. So like having the six pack is back, and all of those things, the things that I really wanted, I now have back. I can say, like, after completing the challenge, I didn't want to pick up a book as often, which is probably one of the downsides, but I don't work out 2 times a day. I still do my one, but now with me completing it, my first workout or my only workout throughout the day is a lot more intense, because now I know I don't have to do a second one. I don't have to walk outside when it's super cold. It just allows me to go a lot harder on that first one, and sometimes I may be in there for like an hour to an hour and a half, and I minimize my breaks in between my workouts to make it a little bit more intense for me. Allows me to kind of see more results when I'm just in there for maybe an hour and a half, really just locked in. But other than that, man, those were really the biggest tips that I could give when it comes to completing 75 Hard. I highly recommend that you guys go ahead and go for it. Like I said, the biggest changes that I seen personally was my business's revenue increasing. I got 2 million additional eyes on me, because obviously with me being a little bit more sharp, my content is better. What I was doing was better. I was hiring better people. Everything that I did in that small time period was just 10 times better. And I definitely look forward to doing it again. I would say as well, I'm a lot healthier as well. I don't really have the need to smoke or drink. I can like really have fun by myself and just being sober. Yeah, man, these are like life-changing things. And I think that if you ever wanted to become the best version of yourself, I think you'll look at 75 Hard as a challenge to tackle to do so. Keep moving forward, keep grinding to become the best version of ourselves. And if you guys like this video, definitely make sure you guys leave a subscribe, and let me know down below, have you ever tried 75 Hard? Did you complete it? Did you fail? Let me know down below in the comments. I'll be sure to read every single one of them and respond to all of them. So with that being said, I love you guys, I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.